One day, Jesus got into a boat with his disciples and said to them, "Let us go across to the other side of the lake." And as they were sailing, he fell asleep.
Waves are swamping us, we'll all drown! Help us, Master!
Where is your faith?
Can we have the lights on again? Alam nyo, ganun talaga pagka nandun tayo sa live situation. Sometimes, things do happen, kagaya ng ating laptop. But that would not stop us from continuing with God's Word. Siguro everybody have seen that film clip, and that is just a portion of the Jesus Film Project na kinapture ko yung situation na where the Lord Jesus Christ is riding the boat with the disciples. And just like what I mentioned, today, allow me to shed some light on this matter, and we will try to drill some practical application we could get from this message entitled, "In Tough Times, Sailing Through the Storm of Life." So for this afternoon, I have 3 points para sa ating pag-aaral. Alam na natin yung title. We know the title. We know the theme. The theme is to encourage one another despite of there are circumstances or adversaries in our life. And we know our text. And the first point that I would like to give you today is for us to understand first the storm. Understanding the source of the storm. Saan ba nanggagaling itong storm na to? Where does this storm comes from? Sino ang nagpapasimuno nito? Kasi because probably some of us will kind of think na, oh, it's just an ordinary storm. Storm do happen. But let's try to understand. In order for us to understand the source of this storm, I would like us to look into 3 things. We will look at the previous lesson, we will look at the boat, and we will look at the word being used here so that we could understand the source of this storm. Kasi akala ng iba, most of us understand that this storm is just an ordinary storm. So let's look at the previous lesson. On the same chapter, in verse 3, on chapter 3, verses 13 to 19, it tells us that the Lord Jesus Christ have chosen the 12. And this is what it said. He went up to the mountain and called to him those he himself wanted, and they came to him. And then he appointed the 12 that they might be with him, that he might send them out to preach. Ito yung purpose ng Panginoon when he collected or when he selected the 12. And then so that they would have power to heal the sickness and to cast out demons. So remember, the intention of the Lord when he selected the 12 at that very moment is for them to help him in preaching the gospel, healing the sick, and cast out the demons. And also in the following verse, on verse 20 to 27, this is the lesson that the Lord Jesus Christ told the disciples. You know, Mark described this, Jesus as depending and defining from the scribes where his power came from. And the Lord explained among the crowd that the enemy cannot divide himself. Sabi niya ganon, so he called them to himself and said to them in parables, sabi niya ganon, how can Satan cast out Satan? If the kingdom is divided against itself, then the kingdom cannot stand. And if a house is divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan has risen up against himself and is divided, he cannot stand, but has an end. So basically, nung few hours before na nagsil ang Panginoong Jesus, he was preaching or he was teaching the disciple about this subject. And he was, at first, nung pinili niya yung 12, sinabi niya, you will be sharing the gospel, you will help me heal the sick, and also you will cast out demons. And then he also explained na hindi pwedeng i-cast out ni Satan yung sarili niya. Kasi pagka kinast out ni Satan yung sarili niya, when Satan cast out himself, he will lose. Sabi niya ganun, parang sabi niya sa babae, yung he cannot stand but has an end. Matatakot siya. So ibig niya sabihin na ito yung situation nung nangyayari. So tingnan naman natin yung the boat along. Another thing that we might observe in our main text was that Mark mentioned about the boat. Diba sa binasa natin kanina, let me just go back. Medyo mabagal yung computer. Let me go back. I'm just simply trying to point out something. Okay. Let's go to the verse. Okay, here. Where is it? There, on verse 36. Sabi niya, now when they left the multitude, they took him along in the boat as he was, and other little boats were also with him. So nakita niyo yun? Sabi niya gano'n, and other little boats were also with him. So, basically, the idea is, yung una, yung situation na dinidescribe dito, the Lord Jesus Christ is describing about casting the demons. And then, the thing that we would like to see here about the little boat, this just simply tells us that that very day, fishing is normal. Kasi may mga boats along the sea, di ba? Hindi lang sila, it is not only them that is fishing at that very moment. So ibig sabihin, it's just an ordinary day. Then all of a sudden, something happens like this, a big storm. Nobody was expecting that storm. No one is anticipating it. And we all know that the main livelihood during that day is fishing. And we can also understand that by experience, we know people during that time are probably all expert in reading or knowing the weather based on the clouds. Di ba yung mga magagaling na mga isda? The moment that they look at the cloud, they would already know kung uulan o hindi. Di ba? Nasesense na agad nila. So basically, walang nag-e-expect sa kanila that very same day na mayroong bagyong darating. So something is fishy here, di ba? Kasi parang, di ba, people are all experienced. Alam nila na yung they've been fishing, years and years. They are already expert. And then all of a sudden, there is a storm like this. So this is not something normal, kumbaga. And trying to connect that to the lesson that the Lord Jesus Christ had given them, something to do with the enemy. And now let us look at the word. Sabi ko nga kanina, we look at the previous lesson. We look at the boats. We learned that during that time, no one is expecting. And now let's look at the word that Mark used in this very verse. Look at the previous version. You just look at By the way, before we go to that, to the word that has been used, let me show you first the Sea of Galilee. Kasi yung Sea of Galilee, this is where they say, nakikita niyo ba? Kinuha ko lang sa Wikipedia yan. Actually, ang Sea of Galilee is just like a big, parang malaking, tawag nila doon, palanggan. Basin of water. It's a lake. Actually, it was a sea, but it was really a lake. Tabang siya. Hindi siya alat. And kung makikita niyo dito sa picture, paikot yan. There are mountains surrounding. One of you are familiar with Olongapo. Kasi I grew up a little bit in Olongapo nung time na kinasal kami. Ganun din siya. Yung surrounding na sea, maraming mountain. So if you're going to look at it, ganyan ang itsura niya. So, ito yung lake. Tapos, ayun. Tapos, kung titignan mo sa top view, pabilog siya, gano'n. So, kasi ang hirap sometimes, it's hard to imagine how it looks like. Kasi let's cross the reef, sabi nga, let's cross the lake. Siguro ang inisip natin parang dun lang. No, it's a big, if one person is going to cross from here up to that side, malayo-layo din. And do you know the very reason why the Lord Jesus Christ inas niya yung mga disciples na let's cross over? Kasi there are multitudes of people following them. And dumating nga yung time na when a large of people follow the Lord Jesus Christ because of their teaching, ang sabi niya, sumakay siya dun sa boat. And then yung boat niya, di ba, remember si Peter, pwede mo bang iusog-usog? Sabi niya gano'n. Inusog niya dun sa bandang gitna. The reason